Hey everybody, welcome back. Mike Dokter here. I am the head women's basketball coach for the house team playing under the Michigan Basketball Academy in West Michigan here. And we are reading Pound the Stone by Joshua Medcalf. This is book number 2 in our series. First book was Chop Wood, Carry Water. So if you haven't read that one or listened to it, please go back and do so. We are getting close. We got 4 chapters left. I'm going to do 2 chapters now and 2 chapters in the next video, and I promise you at some point throughout these next 4 chapters I will cry. This is real stuff to me. I get really excited about sharing this type of stuff with you, and quite honestly it's really deep stuff that's helped me in my life, and I hope it can help you too. So chapter 60, the future. After spending all night tossing and turning as he thought about what Russ said, Jason knew what he had to do. No more texts, no more DMs. This had to happen face to face. The next morning, Jason drove to Kaya's house at 5:30 a.m. He brought her favorite drink from Starbucks and the world's biggest apology. When she answered the door, she was confused, but she accepted the coffee and listened as Jason poured his heart out on the doorstep. He apologized for letting the circumstances get into his head and affect their relationship. Because I know I'm not perfect, I can't promise it won't happen again at some point, but I can promise you, as long as I'm with you, I will never take you for granted like that again. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I know how lucky I am to be with you. Did you know that Kaya wasn't even supposed to be my name? Kaya interrupted. Jason shook his head, confused. My dad is Japanese and my mother is Jamaican, and in her family, a daughter was always named for her mother's mother. But when they saw me for the first time, I guess they decided that I had to be named after my father's mother instead, Kaya. Do you know what my name means? Jason shook his head. In Japanese, Kaya means forgiveness. Jason felt emotion rise in his chest as he looked into Kaya's eyes and smiled. So you forgive me? She answered him with a long kiss. Of course I do. I'm sorry I haven't been answering my phone or anything. It was a really rough weekend. Jason noticed the dark circles under her eyes and realized that he'd been focused on his apology, that he hadn't noticed she wasn't just tired from waking up early. She was tired because she had never gone to sleep. Well, what's going on? Kaya rubbed her eyes, clearly exhausted. She handed him her phone. Look at this. The email was from someone at SpaceX. Jason read it quickly. We would be so excited to have you join us again and prepared to offer you the same package we do for all our incoming program members. His eyes started skipping over words. Housing package includes rent in an apartment of your choosing from our facility. Moving package includes airfare for you and a family member. We eagerly await your response. As it clicked, Jason met her eyes, understanding set in. You've been thinking about this all weekend. She nodded. I'm sorry I didn't reply to you. I knew I should have. I don't know what to think. I was really trying to process this fully before talking to you. Jason reread the email, realizing, wait, so this would mean that you're moving to California once school is over? Yes, if I take it, but I'm not sure if working there is what I want right now. Well, why not? I thought you loved that place, and I know how tough of a program it is to get into. I know, but it would mean leaving my tutoring business just when it's really beginning to grow. I've added 5 more clients just this year. She trailed off, her eyes meeting his. And then there's us. If I'm in California. She didn't finish her sentence, but Jason knew what she meant. If she was in California, they might not be together. He cleared his throat. Look, maybe if I can play ball at UCLA or Cal. She nodded, but it seemed like her mind was a million miles away. Jason hugged her. Look, we'll talk about this later, okay? I think you need some sleep. Kaya nodded, kissing him goodbye, and while Jason was rock solid in his feelings for her, he was now more unsure of the future than ever. All right, sometimes what you think you want or great opportunities that come your way are not really the things that are best for you, and it's important to think about those things. This chapter is mostly a plot builder, but think about that for a second. If you're offered the world, this happened to me recently in a job offer, you're offered the world, is it really the best option compared to what it is that you're doing? Is it really something that you want to do? Is it something that's best for you and your family and everything else involved? It's always important to take a beat and think holistically about things. That's what I want us to get out of that chapter. Chapter 61. Even though the future with Kaya was very up in the air, Jason felt so much better now that he had made things right with her. On the court, all his work pounding the stone was paying off. His fitness was unbelievable. For the next 4 games, he and the Raiders gritted out win after win, going into double overtime 2 games in a row to take out the division. Jason got stronger in overtime when everyone else's legs looked like they were moving through water. The semis brought even tougher competition, but with Jason leading them, the team was ready for it. The regional final was a blowout. Jason and the Raiders were headed to state. Before their first game at state, Jason got a handwritten note in his locker from TD. Keep pounding. Keep pounding. I'm proud of the man you are becoming. Inspired, Jason shared it with his teammates, and they rolled over their first two opponents. The third game was much tougher, a shutout that they barely put away in the final few minutes. As the buzzer sounded, the Raider fans rushed the floor, and Jason realized what this meant. They were going to the finals. There they would find out they would face their old rival Hudson. Jason knew this would be the biggest challenge yet. He would be playing his nemesis on the biggest stage under the brightest lights of his career. Told you, we're not even to the good part yet. College coaches from UNC, UCLA, Texas, and Kentucky would all be at that game. This was the exact scenario he had faced 3 years ago as a hot-headed freshman, which landed him in Coach Michael's office. Had he grown enough to overcome it? Before the game, Coach Brandt shared how proud of them he was of the men they were becoming. He wrote on the board, Focus leads to on playing for your teammates rather than your shots, feelings, or pain. Fight leads to fight for all the little inches. Finish on empty. Those are arrows, so that was kind of a weird thing. Focus on playing for your teammates rather than for your shots, feelings, or pain. Fight for all the little inches. Finish on empty. If you do these three things, you will be able to play with freedom and have a lot of fun. Let's go. Everyone jumped up out of their seats and put their hands in the middle. Coach looked everyone in the eyes. You guys have been pounding the stone all season. Now it's time to go out there and finish on empty. Finish empty on 3. The game started out exactly as expected, evenly matched. Both teams were playing their best ball, and it was quickly obvious that there was no easy winner here. This was going to be a knockdown, drag-out title fight, the kind you only made it through on grit and sweat equity. In the fourth quarter, the whistle shrilled for a timeout. As the team gathered on the bench, everyone started talking over each other. But Jason quieted the whole team, holding up his hand. He simply said, "Hey, look, we're down 10 points. So what? I don't care if we're down 20. Hey, look, we're down 10 points. So what? I don't care if we're down 20. What do we do, no matter if we're down 20 or up 20? The answer came instantly from memory. Pound the stone." Jason shot them a smile. His confidence was contagious. Exactly, just like we have been all season. I don't know what the final outcome of this game will be tonight, but I do know that I'm going to pound the stone until the final buzzer sounds. Who's with me? The guys shouted their response, energized and focused by his words. As the whistle blew and the action got underway again, that's exactly what the Raiders did. Pass by pass, shot by shot, they surged along, unleashing a quick series of scores that brought them within a single point. They were experiencing what the Navy SEALs call merging, where they were no longer operating as 5 individuals on the floor, but rather as one seamless unit. But as the clock dipped to 2 minutes, that's when it happened. The Hudson guard bricked a shot from the line, and Jason flew in for the board. He ripped the ball from the air, but as he came down, the guy beneath him rotated, tilting Jason, and pop! Jason felt his ankle roll like rubber beneath him, overextending as he crashed to the ground. Jason bit back a scream, knowing immediately that his ankle was badly sprained, if not broken. Complete silence fell as everyone froze. The ref and athletic trainers rushed out, and Jason slowly got to his feet and hobbled to the sideline. Even the smallest pressure on his foot was followed by searing pain. Behind the bench, the athletic trainer did a range of motion tests and then looked at his coach, shaking his head. This is sprained or worse. He might have a torn ligament. Jason saw the realization hit Coach Brandt. This star player wouldn't be coming back. He looked at Jason in the eyes and shook his head, filled with emotion. "I'm so sorry, Jason." And with that, he called a timeout to talk to the team as Jason went back to the athletic training room with the athletic trainers. All right. 2 chapters left after this one. My favorite part of that chapter is when you're up 20 or when you're down 20, you pound the stone. You do exactly what it takes, whether things are good or things are bad. You do exactly what it takes. You do exactly what you need to do to operate and function as a team to get to the highest level of success. The reason I get so choked up about this stuff is because throughout the last 41 years of my life, these principles have been true even though I didn't know them. The things that I realized when I read this book for the first time, and then read it for the second time and the third time, and now with you guys the fourth time, was that basketball is so much more than what's taking place on the court. It's all the things that happen inside of you as you're becoming better and learning to fall in love with the process, and it's the reason that I preach that. I get choked up and emotional because this stuff is real, and there's going to be a time when whatever sport you play comes to an end, and then who are you? What have you learned from that, and what will you take forward? And I hope and I pray that the principles that this book talks about are things that you can take forward. So 2 more chapters to go. We'll see you in the next video. I'm excited to read them for you. Hopefully I can get through them. I know I'm going to cry in the next one. I just know it. I know it. So come back, watch me ball like a baby. It'll be fun for you. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye now.